How many hearts have you broken with those great big beautiful eyes? Those great big beautiful eyes that tell such beautiful lies.
How many times have you kissed somebody like you kissed me then? I don't.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all ships at sea. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important message from the Prepared Mind Network.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. We've got Facebook, we've got X, we've got YouTube. Maybe not. Not. But we do have subscribestar.com and thepreparedmind.club. If you're watching on YouTube, you need to be on one of our other services to go live Monday through Friday live. And anyone and everyone is invited to do Super Chat donations all week long. We are taking it in the keister, if you will, over social media, cutting our throats again. And we'll talk about that a little more. An interesting story came up. But if you're on X, right down there, you hit those two little dollar bill looking things next to edit profile on my profile, and you can get your questions up. But we're just going to take everybody's questions, have all kinds of fun. Be sure and hit the thumbs up. Be sure and hit the heart. Be sure and hit the repost. But most of all, hit the comments so that we can get your thoughts, your questions up on the screen, and we'll make you famous. Lots going on today, folks, as we wait for the inauguration with Trump. And there's something I have noticed. It's very quiet from the Democrat side. Yes, there's still lots of Trump derangement syndrome morons. Yes, there are still a lot of extreme things coming out of mainstream media. But for some reason, the real spicy, powerful stuff coming out of political figures like Pelosi and Schumer, it's very quiet. And it hasn't been since 1988, not 2018, not 2008, since 1988, since Democrats allowed an election to be certified without protest, right? Someone usually stands up and protests. Not a single Democrat protested. I wonder why. Now, the Canadians are definitely protesting right now, and the leftists up there in the Great White North, they're very upset at Trump for all of his annexation jokes about Canada, making it the 51st state, and you would have to make several states out of it. Canada's a large country. Anyways, they're getting very upset, and now they're getting mad. They're saying, well, we're going to annex California and Oregon and Washington. I'm really Canada. You want the West Coast? I think that the Great White North saying they're going to take California, Oregon, and Washington, they would call that white supremacy, wouldn't they? Anyways, they're kind of getting upset up north. The liberals, I mean, Meatball, Justine Turdhole is resigning, has resigned, etc. And I think the left is on their heels in a lot of places. That does not mean that those with real power won't take action. Be prepared for false flags, folks. And then, of course, my big number one move is they need to try and assassinate Trump. They could solve a lot of their problems by getting rid of Mr. Trump. He's been keeping his head a bit low, even though today he was out in front of the mic quite a bit. We'll get into that as well. If you want to talk about what he's been saying and doing, what's happening, what the risks and threats are, what's going to happen on Inauguration Day, bring it up. We now have kapow. 13 days left before Inauguration Day. And the left, a lot of them are sucking up to Republicans, sucking up to Trump. I mean, Justine Turdhole, he flew from Canada all the way down to Mar-a-Lago just to be insulted by Trump. We've got a lot of people sucking up, including Bill Gates, and now Zark Zuckerberg. That's right, Mark Zuckerfuck says he is removing his fact-checking program after years and years of, censorship, targeting conservatives, removing conservatives, shadow banning and blacklisting people, removing them off of Facebook. And folks, he also admitted that his fact checkers are partisan, meaning they're Democrats, they're liberals, they're socialists. I mean, do you believe Mark Zuckerberg? Do you believe him when he says they're going to remove that censorship and make it more free speech? It's almost like old Mark there is sitting in a classroom taking a test on how to have a successful social media company, and he's looking over at Elon Musk's while he's writing his answers. He's looking at Elon Musk's paper. Free speech. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I don't believe him. Do you believe Mark Zuckerberg? I think he's an ass-kissing liar. He's trying to win back our trust. Would you ever trust this guy again? I mean, after all, he only spent $500 million, $500 million, to fuck Trump in 2020 at the election. He spent $5 million. They were called Zuckerbucks to fuck Trump. Well, I say fuck the Zuck. I have no love for these people, folks. No love at all. I don't trust them. I don't believe them. I don't know. They would piss down your back and tell you it's raining. You bet. And speaking of the left, right? They're not sending out their best and their brightest. In fact, I'm wondering, do they have a best and brightest? All right. So Elizabeth Warren, and the Associated Press, the AP, they don't have anything new. But Elizabeth Warren and the Associated Press decide they're going to retread one of their smears and go after Pete Hegseth again, right? A completely debunked lie saying that his tattoos are white supremacist, right? Well, actually, he has a Templar cross and the word Devolk on his arm, which means God's will. And I don't want to stop Elizabeth Warren. And I don't want to stop the Associated Press because I want to continue to hear what lies they're trying to feed us so we can understand their agenda, their game, their strategy, if you will. So I say, hey, leftists, keep shitting all over Christians. Keep shitting all over men, right? Keep shitting all over white people. There's going to be even more blowback and more for all of their efforts. Do you see that as correct and right? That they're just going to continue to lose because their complaints are, they're shallow. They're nothing more than ad hominem attacks. There's no substance there. Just by calling someone a racist doesn't make them a racist. So calling someone a racist has now lost its sting. Kind of like calling someone an anti-Semite. Everyone's like, well, I don't know what that means because you call that to everybody. You're a racist. You're a white supremacist. You're a Nazi. No one believes the accusations anymore, which is good, but it's continuing to show us how weak and shallow the Democrats, the socialists, the cult of death is what the left is. In fact, we'll get into more of that as we go as well. Be sure and hit the thumbs up, the heart, subscribe, sign up, follow, all those things. Network amongst ourselves as much as we do with the channel at the Prepared Mind Network. We need to make it a stronger and bigger and more powerful union. It's a union of people this time. And speaking of what we call things, the names we give things, we call this a network. It's a union of free Americans. Well, President Trump came out and he thought, well, I'm pissing off Greenland, pissing off England, pissing off Canada. We may as well piss off Mexico, and says he's going to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And he says, quote, what a beautiful name. I say do it. I never understood as an adult, as an American, even as a kid. I'm like, why is that the Gulf of Mexico? There's more American coastline on the Gulf than I think there is on Mexico. You got Texas and Louisiana and Alabama and Mississippi and Georgia and Florida. And if I was a Democrat, I would say Alaska too. Anyways, they can still call it over in Mexico. They can call it the Gulf of Mexico if they want. That doesn't hurt my feelings. I couldn't give a fuck what they call it. I just think we in our country should call it the Gulf of America. Because once you get over to the Mexico part, you don't go there. That's kind of dangerous, kind of silly in a way. Yeah, crazy stuff. Anyways, Trump is back. He is back. Mean tweets, antagonizing the media. Oh, good golly, right? Good golly. Well, Trump did come out and speak today. He's been quiet as of late. I think he's really working behind the scenes with his proposed cabinet. What do you think he's been up to? What do you think Trump is planning? Thoughts down below, right? Trump is planning and XYZ. Put what you think Trump is doing. Again, folks, it's not just me talking on the screen that matters. There is a completely massive swath of people on all social media that just want to read the comments. They'll probably leave their music on, mute me. They couldn't care what I say. But they want to know what you say as well, what you're talking about in the comments. So never forget that, folks. You guys matter so much. So Trump came back out and he let Hamas, that's right, the terror group Hamas is still in action. I mean, they're complaining that Israel has committed genocide and killed everybody. Hamas is claiming that they want peace. Really, trust us. Hamas is saying, really, we're not in the schools and hospitals and mosques, hiding behind women and children. But they're still there. But Trump says, quote, all hell will break out in the Middle East, end quote. What he's saying is he wants all the hostages, all the American hostages released before Inauguration Day on January 20th. And when it comes to these Hamas, Palestinian, Hezbollah types, all I have to say is remember the Iranian hostage incident under President Carter. When Carter was weak and Carter was a failure, Iran kidnapped all the Americans in the American embassy, and they tried a rescue effort that failed. But Reagan was elected. And Iran took Reagan seriously. And they released all the hostages instantly. Trump is doing the same thing. He's saying all hell's going to break loose. Have they released the hostages? This is not the first time he's mentioned he wants the hostages released. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. So remember the Iranian hostage incident, and also remember the Marine barracks that was destroyed, killing way too many Marines with a suicide bomber in a truck full of explosives. That was in Lebanon. In my heart, in my opinion, in my life, terrorists get no kindness, especially when American lives are at stake. I have no love for terrorists, no respect for terrorists, because they're fucking terrorists. They're terrorists. And they'll kill women, they'll kill children. They did worse than that. They torture people just for being civilians because they can get away with it, because they can hurt innocent, weak people. Oh, good golly. In any event, the mainstream media tried tripping up President Trump. And Trump just roasted the dumbass who was trying to get him to disclose the Iranian military strategy that Trump has. And Trump said, quote, only a stupid person would answer. You know, kind of an epic slapdown. So again, the return of mean tweets, it's happening. The return of media stupidity, it's going to be on fire. Hang tight, folks. Now, this one really got me. I want to share it with you. This one falls right into the world of SHTF. America has given itself a black eye. No, wait, let me take that back. The Democrats, Biden, and the deep state have given the United States of America a black eye. The Federal Reserve Bank, the Treasury, the president, by freezing the assets of Russia and then selling and giving away the assets of Russia, have shown that the dollar and the SWIFT system can be weaponized. That's why so many foreign banks are buying gold hand over fist, because they don't want to hold United States treasuries anymore. Bonds, T-bills, what have you. So we've got a lot of anti-American hatred out there. But Trump is, he's doing some things that I'm shaking my head at, right? He may use, he says, military action to secure Greenland. I don't know. The Panama Canal. And he's saying that, citing economic and national security concerns. Now, Panama Canal, yes. We, the United States of America, have a historic interest there. Our money has paid for it. American lives dug the canal, made the system work, right? And they died doing it by the thousands. So the Panama Canal, yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like that thing over there by Russia, right? What's that funny little peninsula, the Crimean Peninsula? That everyone's like, no, that belongs to Ukraine. And Russia's like, sorry, we've had that thing for centuries. And the whole world was like, you don't own that. You don't own that. Well, here we have the Panama Canal in America. Trump is saying, we own that in all truth. Right? And you're fucking up. But then there's this, so I can see, yeah, the canal is an American national security interest. It's an economic interest. It's a commercial interest that we maintain control of that. But Greenland, is Greenland the new Poland? We need to annex Greenland and send in the military to take it? I mean, I understand the strategic importance of Greenland. I don't know if it's worth starting World War III over. It's interesting. I'm going to watch how this one develops. Of course, I have my opinions about why Greenland. In fact, American presidents have been trying to buy Greenland. I believe it's a protectorate of Denmark. You know, those crazy Vikings over there. But Greenland, buying it. For 100 years, presidents have been trying to acquire it. So this is nothing new. But using military action to secure it, I don't know what the hell is going on out there. Are we not being told the truth or what? Now, a story came up, in fact. It came from Mr. Skylight. He sent it to me. And we've got a news story coming from retired Major Jeffrey Prather and also medical studies. So I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to contradict anything that comes from the important medical people. But apparently the cerveza bug crazies out there, the people who love the Jim Jones juice, they are brain damaged. Brain damaged. So this study that was conducted, folks, involves nearly 9 million participants. And these 9 million participants have been exposed to the Jim Jones juice. And apparently there is a huge surge in neurological and psychiatric damage among those who received the Jim Jones juice. Now, this is even a peer-reviewed study which says that just one can of the Jim Jones juice puts recipients at a risk of suffering severe neurological diseases. Now, I've got my own thoughts that I've had about this. You know, what is going on with the way people are acting and thinking? What's going on with that, folks? Now, we know there's clots out there, right? lots of clots, big snotty clots that they pull out of people's legs, arms, hearts, out of their jugulars. But what about the teeny micro clots that are tiny? So when they're in the brain, they don't cause major strokes. They just slowly kill off small, tiny parts of the brain by clogging the capillaries so that blood cannot flow through properly, bringing fresh oxygen and nutrients to feed the mind. So what I think is happening is a kind of a mad cow type disease where parts of the brain are cut off and they just die, wither, and rot. And that's what's going on, in my opinion, is we're seeing slow kill brain rot. And what did we hear? Any lab animals that received the Jim Jones juice, none of them lived past 5 years. All right, there we are. Right, if you got the Jim Jones juice in 21, so year 22, 23, 24, and now we're in 2025. So people are having it for years. Now, am I frozen still? Am I good? We're good. Okay. Oh, frozen. All right. Well, hang tight. I'm going to reset, see if we can get this rolling. All right. Looking good. Looking good. Okay. Welcome back. Uman is saying no. It's frozen.
I got a black box. Do you see it on your StreamYard?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, but there's no video.
I can see myself. It's perfect. Are you
I don't
on
know.
the are you on the X feed or the Facebook feed?
I got the X feed, and I've got the YouTube feed, and I've got the StreamYard feed, and all I got is a black box for you on all three.
Well, how about that?
Can you guys out there see anything, or is this just me again?
It's not you, it's me.
I don't know.
Well.
Why don't you try jumping out and back in again real quick?
Okay, because on my computer I can see myself. The camera's working. Everything looks good. The internet is trying to shut us down.
Do you
I'm
have?
going to continue with audio form. Mikey G says box only. Andrew says I don't see him. Well, how about that?
Try jumping out and in again real quick.
Okay, let me see here. Well, I tell you. It's got to be a StreamYard issue because StreamYard is showing me on my end.
Yeah, yesterday it was a StreamYard / browser issue for me.
Okay.
Somebody did an update and my browser didn't like it anymore, so we're having all kinds of issues with that, and I had to ditch the old browser and reload a new browser because I'm running on a Mac.
All right.
You're still black boxed. Why don't you just put up one of your one of your pictures there and just do audio for now?
Let's roll with it. How's that work? All right, we'll go with that. We're back. We're down to audio only. Holy cow! I won't be able to read comments though with this. I don't think, unless you put a comment up. See what that says. Yep. Okay, that works. Great. Well, we are going to go. Thank you, Andrew, for offering your face. Hoorah! Semper Fi to you and all out there who are veterans. Okay, so let me finish with the Jim Jones juice there. Right, people have had it 4 years. They're going bonkers. I've talked to a lot of people who say the leftists in their life are getting more loony, less rational. And people who are, well, conservatives that have taken the Jim Jones juice, they're also having problems. So we're going to have to keep a very close eye on this. I am continuing to eat horse paste on a monthly basis just to make sure I kill all that shit inside of me, as well as parasites and other things. So there it is. Okay, so let us continue. We got just a few minutes, and we're going to get to your guys' questions out there. Feels kind of like a radio program. Ooh, man, you got a series of questions from coming in, and that's great. We've got a good audience. Let's have some fun with it. Oh, over there in England, the United Kingdom, the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. I don't think he's noticed that the Prime Minister of Canada has been embarrassed right off the world stage. And Keir Starmer should be embarrassed for letting all the rapists go and allowing and enabling and covering for rapists. He, Keir Starmer, and other British officials, as well as police officials and even street police. And I'm absolutely disgusted seeing so many British police on prayer mats. They are being converted big time. I don't think they're going to have the same luck in America, at least not where I'm at. But Keir Starmer is threatening that Britain is going to cut its security ties with the United States of America unless Trump distances himself from Elon Musk. This is stupidity times 100. It really is. What do you guys think of this? I mean, England, they've attacked us twice. Right? We have the revolution. I guess maybe we attacked them. They came back in the War of 1812. They have interfered in our country, both elections, economics, and government operation, all the way up through and after the Civil War. And then we had to save their sorry asses in World War II. Love the British people. The British government can suck. In fact, all governments seem to be in that class of just suck it. Anyways, so Trump is no longer allowed to choose who his friends are, is what we're being told here. Someone like Keir Starmer, who is more like Hitler than Hitler was. He wants people thrown in jail that he disagrees with. Well, isn't that something that Trump was supposed to do? But here it is, liberal Democrats and socialists around the world are silencing people and throwing them in jail for speaking and having their own thoughts and conclusions. That's what Hitler did. That's what Hitler did. Just, it's absolutely incredible. Now, who does this guy think he is? Elon Musk is Elon Musk. He is not Trump. Elon Musk is not his secretary of anything. Oh boy, folks, it's gonna get juicy and it's gonna get better. Now, just unbelievable what's going on with these other countries, right? That England is going to punish us by saying we're going to dissolve our security alliance with you. Do we really need England? Like, if we were attacked by Russia, would England save us? Probably not. Okay. Anyways, these people are just dipshits. They really are. Donald Trump Jr. and some of other Trump's associates, allies, actually have gone to Greenland, right? Gone up there. I just thought that was quite hilarious. The people of Greenland, I'm actually seeing a lot of support for Canada joining the United States. I can't imagine the trouble that would take. It would bother the hell out of me because they have so many socialists and liberals and problems up there. Canada's resource-rich energy, meaning oil sands, uranium, rare earths. But really, do we need more snow? I thought we had a pretty good recipe down here for making our own snow and ice. Anyways, what do? Are you guys prepared for what's coming next? What's coming next? All right, Mr. Ooman, we're going to flip over to the inner circle and we'll flip over to the questions and comments coming from the audience. All right, can you see me? That was worth a shot. All right, man, who's up first? Who do we have? Who's got something to say? And we have drum roll. Brah. And man's thinking it's Mr. Diving Frog, and he says Schmuckerberg is full of schnit. Seems to be quite a convenient timing issue. I agree with you, right? Everybody wants to be on the winning team, especially when you're a very wealthy business person. You always side with the winner. In fact, this is a concept that's as old as politics. Is when you have competing factions, you support both sides so that whoever wins, regardless of whoever wins, you're in a position to benefit by it. You see, France supported the United, well, not United anything. They were the American colonies, right? But during the Civil War, which had nothing to do with foreign countries, England and France both supported both sides, both the South and the North. But it seems that as of late, the last few decades, corporations and businesses feel that they can just control elections. And so they pick a side. And I think they've demonstrated what side they like. They like fascism, the side of the government that says we're going to get lots of money for businesses and businesses give lots of money to the politicians. That's fascism, folks. That's exactly what it is. And who seems to be benefiting the most from this? Democrat politicians. The businesses are not even supporting both sides. Well, until after they lose. But up until they lose, they support just the Democrats. There's more billionaire Democrats than you can imagine. And that to me is almost, I'm going to call it oxymoronish. You would think that these Democrats, the richer they get, the more money they would give away to charities because they believe in high taxes, right? The camera is... No, it's not saying anything there, man. Yeah, it's not saying anything at all. You can't see me, right? Okay. Yeah, I have no idea. I checked the settings. Let's see. There's nothing in the bottom. Nothing. How about now? Yep, I just changed the resolution. Right? Not there at all. Oh, we're good? Oh, well, fuck me. All right, let's continue if we shall. Yeah, Schmuckerberg and all these other Democrats, they're not that bright. I mean, if he was smart, if they were smart, and I really think that Elon Musk is smart enough, that he was starting to play both sides, but he ended up getting pulled all the way over to the Trump side. I think he was largely able to do that because Trump really isn't a super right-wing guy. I think Trump is really a moderate. He does a lot of spending. He loves America, though, and he's a nationalist. And I think that's kind of what upsets the lefties. They're like international Nazis. They're really scummy. Anyways, Mr. Diving Frog, Schmuckerberg is full of shit. I agree 100%. What does the rest of you think? Right? Do you want to go and just believe that these guys are going to give up their control of us? Yeah, right. That'd be like the government coming out and saying, we don't want to tax you anymore. First thing I'll do is grab my wallet, make sure they haven't already taken it. All right, Mr. Uman, where do we go next? And we got a new guy. I've never called this name, Jamie Galindo. He says, better give us our accounts back. Uh-oh, what does that mean? Give us our accounts back. Nope. Well, let me.
All the accounts that were banned by Zuckerberg and all those clowns.
There we go. Yeah, give us our accounts back. They owe us a whole lot. There we go. Oh, this is better. There we go. Yeah, X, right? Twitter, they erased accounts. Facebook erased accounts, suspended them. YouTube erased accounts, suspended benefits. I mean, 80,000 subscribers, but yeah, we don't want to give you guys any credit. Yeah, thank you, Jamie, very much, and hopefully they do. I mean, they know how to do it. They gave Trump his account back. They sure did. And I'll tell you what, it's unbelievable. I fucking hate these people. You can't hate them enough for what they've done to everybody. Just unbelievable. Okay, let us continue. I'm going to get off of that horse. It just got ridden right into the sand. Uman says, Mike Cruz Sr. over at X says, John, what do you think about the appeals court turning Trump's request for an emergency hearing down? Well, there's a lot of different court cases that Trump is in, and we only know about a few of them because that's all that makes it. The appeals court, if I'm thinking of the one you're thinking of, as I said, there are many, said, yeah, we're not going to give you a break. Right. President-elect doesn't get a break. President-elect doesn't have immunity. President-elect doesn't this and that. Well, if we're talking about the hush money case with Judge Merkin, I believe that's the one I'm thinking of, that son of a bitch isn't letting go. He's continuing to fight. I believe that this is just a shit show, and it's a smear attempt. It's not going to do any good for the left. In fact, it's just going to piss off Trump more, and we're going to end up demanding for some, what do we call this? Judicial review, some judicial, shall we say, governance. These people, how do you get rid of bad judges? Right? There's going to need to be something done about this at some point. President Clinton paid hush money, $800,000 to Paula Jones, and he's not being sued by the government. They're trying to make it look and sound like it's a criminal case, and it's just smear. Additionally, the other part of this was, and you may be thinking of this part, is he said no more gag order. I need to be able to talk about this. Oh, no, you won't be talking about anything. Who the fuck is Judge Merkin? Who the hell does he? Why does he get to tell somebody what they can and can't talk about? I think this concept of the gag order, I think it is completely unconstitutional. Completely unconstitutional. Let's just say you have a secret clearance, classified material clearance, top secret clearance. Now you have entered into an agreement with this clearance that you won't disclose the information. And you disclose that information, you violate your trust and your contract. Yeah, now a crime is committed. But when a judge says, I'm taking away your voice, there's no contract. There's no agreement there. Right? So I really don't like that. Anyways, thank you, Mr. Cruz, very much. Yeah, I've had it with these judges. They've become very, I would say, dogmatic in their partisan attacks. That's the war we're in, though, folks. It's an all-encompassing war, wouldn't you say? It's an economic war. It's a monetary war. It's a military war. We've got an invasion going on from the south, from the north, every side. We're being attacked on all sides. The representation in Congress is shit. Our governors are bureaucrats, right? They're now the deep state. They don't answer to us. They even claim they don't answer to the president. They think that they exist and they can't be stopped. Like the CIA. Why does the CIA need to exist anymore? Now, I understand the cry for national security. Everybody wants that. National security. We all want to feel safe. But when I say the CIA is protecting you, do you really believe they are? Did you chuckle a little bit when I say you're safe because the CIA is looking out for you? The CIA is going to make sure that nothing bad happens. The CIA is going to stop terrorism. The CIA is not going to overthrow governments. I mean, do you believe any of that? I'm not really worried about the CIA because, well, everybody criticizes them and nobody can hold them accountable. Last person that really tried, I think, was JFK. And he was involved in an assassination attempt. He was the target. Yeah, he was going to break the CIA into 1,000 pieces. I think that would be a good thing. We have the CIA, the NSA, the DHS, the FBI, the DOJ. We have too many of these. I don't want to call them anachronisms, but they're just useless, worthless bodies that are bloated and powerful and can't be held to account. And then there's one other issue. While I'm at it, I may as well go all the way down this road. Military industrial contractors that have secret clearance that precludes the government, the elected government, from knowing what they have, what they're being paid, what they're doing with it. And there's absolutely no oversight by any civilian administration. None whatsoever. You know, the Area 51 type things, the Dulce type things, you know, with different advanced technologies that we're not allowed to know about. And they can just spray shit all over people. And no problem, right? Just spray it from airplanes. We can't stop it. Oh, good golly, folks. What a world we live in. Are you prepared for what's coming next? Because it could be anything. It could be a biological attack. Oh, and they are pushing. They're pushing for everyone to put a diaper back on their face. They're pushing for it. They're trying to scare people into believing the common cold is going to kill you. They're pushing for it, folks. Are you going to fall for it? Are you going to lock down? Are you going to obey the government when it tells you you're going to die because, someone sneezed? I sure hope you don't believe it. But I really think that it's coming. I really think they're going to try some more shit on us. And, well, I think shit on us is probably a great way to talk about it. Okay, Mr. Uman, let's roll if we can. And I really have no idea because my camera here is working. Okay, let's go with this. We've got Chin Music. And he says, with Justine Turtle stepping down, Canada can now elect a man. Well, I sure hope if they have any. I know there's men in Canada, but are there any political figures with testicles? That's the big question. Are there any? Who is this guy? His name starts with a P. Is it Polino or something like that? But yeah, Canada does have I'm not going to call him Trump-like, but a conservative, and their government is trying to move into a more conservative stance. The people need to step up. A lot of people believe Canada is just like the United States of America. It has a minority population of invaders that have nothing to do with Canadian history, tradition, laws, or culture, who are trying to destroy Canadian history, laws, traditions, and culture. And Canada has a bunch of socialists as well. But the argument is being made that there is a majority of traditional Canadian-loving Canadians, and they're tired of this bullshit of giving their country away to foreigners, giving their wealth away to foreigners, and just destroying themselves. I really hope that that's the case. I really do. So we're going to find out, man. England is having the same problems. There's a lot of fight back. There's kind of with regard to the United Kingdom, Nigel Farage, who successfully made the Brexit happen, Britain leaving the European Union. Took him over 10 years, but he got it. But there's kind of a claim that Nigel Farage isn't strong enough to wrestle control of England itself from these fanatical socialist white culture haters in England. I guess we'll find out, folks. I'm fighting first and foremost in my own life to keep my head above water, to feed myself a decent diet and keep my health decent, and then protect the state of Florida, the South, and then the United States of America. Kind of, it's almost in that order, right? Ascending rings of, if you will, of geographical protection around me. It's going to be a crazy world, folks. I'm really seeing it. In a way, we're winning, and in a way, the bad guys are closing in on us. And maybe technology has a lot to do with that. There was a time when we were all anonymous, when privacy wasn't something we had to scream about. It was just something that was. I mean, who's going to know who you are unless someone literally knew exactly who you were? All right, Mr. Ooman, that's a fun topic there. Let's see what's else. Who else out there? Thank you, Mr. Music. I appreciate it as usual. And a diving frog back. And he says, "Hey, John, how can a mortician go out of business when so many people are dying to get in?" Thanks, man. Yeah, you would think that there'd be lots of business for morticians with the crazy stuff going on. I really believe, and I'm going to put this out there, that we've got a lot of extra deaths. And I'm going to say it's probably attributed to the Jim Jones juice. But the way I look at this also is the people that already have diseases, comorbidities, they're going to have weakened immune systems. They're going to be more susceptible to disease. And so if you combine those sorts of health conditions with the Jim Jones juice, it's going to exacerbate things, make things worse. And those people are going to be the first ones to go down. Right? Those are the weakest will always die first in extreme scenarios. But we are seeing and continue to see children, teenagers, young adults, and even middle-aged adults unnecessarily dying. We're going to find out, folks. And just a few weeks ago, that was a big deal in the news. Doctors were coming out. Pharmaceutical companies are being sued. It was all being exposed, and it just got swept under the rug again. They did the old 72 news hour cycle, and let's change from one boring topic to something that's exciting for a few days. You know, like, I don't know, rampant pedophilia, rampant minor and white people rape by Muslims. How long until that story just goes away and we go to the next thing? Nothing ever seems to get fixed. We just go from critical disaster to critical disaster. So that is a little disheartening. What I would like to see is some focus, some follow through, and some integrity. And I'm hoping that the Trump administration can supply that for us. Right? None of this, just screw Canada, Mexico, and Greenland. Let's make America great again before we try expanding. Let's fix the problems in our country before we start looking out of our country. I'd like to see some follow through on cleaning up the Pentagon. Right? The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, whatever her job is, fix the problems. Fix the FBI with Kash Patel. Fix the Pentagon with Pete Hegseth. Right? Fix the IRS. Just dissolve it. Get rid of the Federal Reserve. You know, how about this? Audit the Treasury. Audit Fort Knox. How much gold do we really have? How about this? How about going to Wall Street and cleaning all the trash out of there? Right? What did Al Sharpton call New York City a couple of decades ago? We called it Hymietown. Fix all the problems in our country. Hymietown. I always thought that was funny. That got him in all kinds of trouble because apparently that was anti-Semitic to call New York City Hymietown. All right, let us continue if we shall. Lots of fun, lots to talk about. New Man says, Dr. 762 says, and he's on X, by the way, John, how do you see things getting done? How do we overcome these non-governmental organizations and globalists? I tell you, that is the mission, Dr. 762. That's the mission, right? We need control of the executive law enforcement branch of government. And that's what Trump is supposed to be doing, getting control of that. Right? If you don't have law enforcement, investigative, and prosecutorial control, you've got nothing. So we need an attorney general. We need an FBI. We need a Department of Justice full of federal prosecutors who will go after criminals. Criminals like George Soros. If he spends his money and funds terrorist activity like Antifa and Black Lives Matter, groups that are committing acts of terror, he is funding them. Now, look, if I had $1 billion and I was giving money to gangs in Compton, gangs in South Chicago, gangs in the Bronx, and those gangs were going out and hurting people and murdering people and committing crimes and selling drugs and trafficking children and engaging in prostitution. If I was giving money to these people, I would be considered funding, aiding, and abetting criminal behavior. I would be arrested. So if George Soros is giving money to gangs like Antifa and BLM that commit larceny, arson, gang warfare, right? Terrorism, in other words, he should be arrested. We need a Department of Justice that's willing to do that. Same with the globalists, like Bill Gates. And I'm going to put Mark Zuckerberg in that class. I'm going to put Jeff Bezos in that class. I am. Anyone that wants to go over and hang out with the World Economic Forum, push for weather control, modification, sterilization, euthanasia, all of these programs that they want, we need to have someone willing to go arrest them and throw their asses in jail or hang them from a yardarm, right? The death penalty for treason and attacking the United States and the people thereof. See, the United States government in Washington, D.C. only seems to give a fuck about the government of Washington, D.C. That's all they seem to care about. When was the last time you heard of them protecting us, the people, the taxpayers, the owners of this country? All they seem to care about is themselves and their power and Washington, D.C.'s own prestige. Oh, don't you dare insult them or take away their interests. How about our fucking interests? There's your problem right there. So you want to get rid of the NGOs and the globalists? We have a problem with international banking cartels, right? They're all tied together, right? It's not just one group or the other. It's all of these elite bastards. The United Nations, we need to be out of it. Whoosh, whoosh, out. That'll solve problems. NATO, we need to get out of it. Whoosh, whoosh, out. You want to be tough guys, Europe? Fuck you. Anyone messes with us, we've got nukes, just like Russia does. No one will mess with us. But we need to clean up, Doctor. We need to clean up the legislative branch of government in both D.C. and every single state. In order to serve a constitutional republic, I think anyone who is in the legislature should have to take an oath to defend and preserve, protect the Constitution and the people. And the moment they don't do that, or they exhibit or support anything that is anti, I think they should be removed from office. Right? The same way a CEO should be removed from his position of power and authority if he starts losing money for a company, and even intentionally losing money. Definitely get him out. These Democrats are intentionally destroying our country, intentionally destroying our culture. Look at these fuckers in England. They're intentionally hiding rape gangs from the people. They're intentionally hiding the statistics. Hundreds of thousands of British girls have been or are continuing to be raped by these foreigners. And the government's pretending it's not going. They should be thrown in prison for that. right? There needs to be a penalty. The penalty needs to be enforced. And that's what we're up against, folks, is making government do what it is supposed to do. And if it doesn't, either they've committed a crime by dereliction of duty, or they just get removed from office and they get replaced until we have nothing but patriots in elected and appointed government offices. And I know that's a tall freaking order. The only other thing is to, for the people that care, they need to take some decisive action on their own. Oh boy, I tell you what, folks. Like, here's an example. In Washington, D.C., we have Congress. In the House of Representatives, they have the Locken-Riley Act. Locken-Riley Act. 159 Democrats voted against the bill, the Locken-Riley Act. She was attacked, assaulted, kidnapped. She fought for, I think, 18 hours. 18 hours of, or is it 18 minutes? Fuck, I can't remember, damn it. She battled and fought and then ended up getting murdered and raped. And Democrats voted against that. They voted for rapists. They voted for murderers. They voted for illegals being allowed to stay here, even if they have violent sex offenses. That's what the Democrats vote. That is absolutely wrong. Now, if the act is unconstitutional, well, of course it shouldn't be passed. But if it is a constitutional act, like take any illegal that's committed a violent crime and throw them out of the country, I couldn't care less if they called it the Locken-Riley Act or the Prepared Mind Act, because it's a law that makes sense. But they chose Locken-Riley to name this act after in order to really show America what the Democrats are. They hate America. They need to be held accountable. They should be thrown out of office, literally, with prejudice, because they prejudicially voted against this, against America. Democrats are the party of death. Democrats are the party of rape. They don't even try and hide it anymore. They don't even try. Okay, oh man, we've got just a couple minutes left. Let's jam up a couple of comments, thoughts out there, and have some fun. Corsair, a great subscriber, informed man that the big fire in the LA area is about to enter LA. People are panicking. They should. Okay, everyone, get out your tinfoil hats. Get out your tinfoil hats and,
I will be a strict but fair lord of these lands, and my serfs will come to idolize me.
That's right. Get your tinfoil hats. Watch out for those directed energy weapons, lasers, weather control that will fan the flames of destruction. I mean, we heard, did we not, that Chicago, a cow knocked over a lantern. Was that Betsy Smith, or it wasn't Betsy Ross? Betsy Smith, or cow kicked over a lantern and burned the entire fucking city of Chicago down. The Great Fire of Chicago. Are we supposed to believe now that we can have a fire and we can't put it out? Well, here we are. Oh, wait, it's California. Millions of acres and cities, entire cities up in Northern California burned. Historic cities that have stood for over 100 years up in the mountains, beautiful wooded areas. Gavin Newsom, that's right, gruesome Newsom, Newscum, governor of California, allowed it to burn while he sent California firefighters up into Oregon to fight their fires. So hang on tight, man. Get out your tinfoil hats. Get your fish out of the fish bowl. Apparently they know better than the government does. And let's look out for more false flags / directed energy weapons. Oh, and if you're in the LA area, I recommend getting a can of blue paint and go paint your roof real fast, because only the blue painted roofs will be spared. Anyways, that's another conspiracy theory out there. They're out there, a lot of conspiracy theories. Some have some actual, I guess we'll call it reality in them. D. Weber checks in from X. He says, is there any more information about the drone invasion that's going on? Do I need to get more duck loads? Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Weber, my recommendation is you get buckshot and slugs for your shotgun. Right? The duck loads for these small human-created ones. Right? Now, folks, duck loads are better than your standard bird shot in a shotgun. A little heavier, reach a little further. So get your duck and goose loads. But I recommend buckshot and getting some slugs. Shotgun slugs, about 500 grains of just nastiness that'll take down the larger drones. I'm not a big fan of drones, folks. I never have been. I think they're great for surveillance, but they're now being weaponized with literal weapons. They want them to carry grenades, and they'll fly right over the top of you and drop a grenade on you. They've deployed these in the war over there in Ukraine to success from both sides. I'm not a big fan of drones. I think that if you're going to kill somebody, you should have the integrity to do it with your own hands, and that you need to be on site. The idea of some pink-haired fruitcake thinking he's playing a game is destroying someone's lives. I'm serious. I don't like this drone thing. It makes weak, cowardly people think that they're, well, not cowardly, but powerful. And when you run into megalomaniacs, folks, you'll discover what the problem with megalomaniacs is. And right now we have an entire city. Our capital is loaded with megalomaniacs. Washington, D.C. Trump is on his way, and we need to encourage the shit out of him and everyone who wants to make America great again. So join us on X, follow us on X, follow everyone else you can. There's no cost to follow other networks on X. There's no cost. Follow them, make their numbers big, interconnect. Find people that are saying important things and share it. Comment on other people's pages. It draws more attention. And of course, we are at My Prepared Mind on X. That's right, My Prepared Mind. Join us there if you haven't already. And we are going to make a difference, folks. Our voices are loud and clear. Chance favors the prepared mind. Semper Fi.